One thing that I'm truly realizing as an entrepreneur and as a business leader, that your business is never out of the woods. You have to evaluate and reevaluate every day and every week and every month and every year, establish new goals. You're either growing or you're dying. I'm Brian Butler. I was selected for the rank of full colonel, but I retired as a lieutenant colonel because I decided to retire in lieu of continuing on with my service. After I retired from the military, I had job offers in the Washington, D.C. area, and we just decided as a family that we wanted to move further south. My wife had just finished her PhD in accounting. We came to Tampa because, first of all, we had family here, and our kids would get a chance to spend quality time with grandparents, something that those folks in the military understand that doesn't happen very often. It was discouraging when I got here and couldn't find a job, but we didn't let that hold us back. We decided to figure out a way to be in this community and figure out a way to make a business work in this community. So we created a company called Viscera Communications, which when we started, we provided public relations and marketing services in the small business and nonprofit space. We started the company out of our house using our own funding. If you think about what was happening in 2006, 2007, that was a very tough time for businesses in our community and a very tough time to start a business. From day one, we've invested our own money, what little we had, into this. And we made, while we had a strategic plan for how to grow the business, but we tried to ensure that we understood the risk that we were taking. And the business model kept evolving over the first couple of years until it became something that we thought it could truly work. Throughout the 12 years that we have been in business, we've had a few milestone events that have allowed us to propel the business forward. Just a couple of years ago, we were put in a place where we were able to buy a bank and really brand that building around who we truly are and allow our customers to take us a little more seriously, because when they walk in the door, they dispel many of the myths around having a small veteran-owned business or small minority-owned businesses. When we won our first project with a Fortune 500 client, it was a very small project, but it was indeed a foot in the door. And we won that project because I met somebody from that company who also was a veteran, and he came to visit us. And when he saw the diversity of our team, one of the things he shared was, I can see clearly how you use your military experience to grow this business model. It led us to a position that we were able to acquire a very small niche marketing agency and bring that agency wholly into our company, which placed us in a position to win additional work in the Fortune 500 space. And we balanced that with the clients that we have in the federal space. We work for about 12 different federal agencies. We're going to look around one day soon and we're going to have 100 employees. My wife, Maureens, is also a former Army officer. She later went back to school and received a PhD in accounting, and she had been a tenured accounting professor, but she'd always had one finger or two fingers in the business as well. And we made a decision last year, that primarily her decision, to come into the business full time. One of the things that I take pride in my growth, development, and learning in the military is how do you build a cohesive team and how do you focus that team on accomplishing its mission in spite of all the other things that are happening in the environment. And we try to do the same here. And you do that by having a mutual respect for your colleagues. You do that by placing the values of your client first and understanding what they're trying to accomplish. I had a very unique military career in that my assignments range from being an HR officer. I ran and led large, complex organizations. I was heavily involved in operations and planning, and I commanded troops in combat. But I also believe that what those experiences really were teaching me is, how do you really excel in a team environment? You could be in charge, but not be the leader. From the very beginning of launching the business, we decided that for the business to grow and to be effective, that we had to have an active role in the community. We bring kids from one of the elementary schools into our office and have business meetings to expose them to what they could potentially be one day. We go into the inner city and help people wash their clothes through a program called the Laundry Project, and we've been involved in that for about 11 years or so. I'm fortunate that I get an opportunity to speak with lots of veterans groups and veterans organizations, and I try to help many of the young veterans understand how they can take their military experiences and apply them to various jobs today. So if you're, for example, if you were in an explosive ordnance unit, you're not going to find a job in the civilian sector providing explosive ordnance services, but you may find a job in the civilian sector around hazardous waste management, because you understand something about that environment that most people don't. And you can take and tweak your resume to a point where it can become very attractive to the type of employers that are looking. They're looking for somebody just like you right now. You have more options than you probably believe that you have at the moment. Quite often on deployments and even in training exercises, you're put in some unique situations where there really isn't a playbook. And you have to just go in and figure it out, but not by yourself. So take all those things that you're learning on active duty and put them in a bag, because you'll use them later.